Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarita. Today I have a special Christmas in July edition candle. And I've never done a Christmas in July, and frankly, I don't celebrate Christmas in July. I don't even know how one celebrates Christmas in July except for putting up unseasonal decorations or something like that. But because we're candle burners, it gives us an opportunity to burn something a little bit Christmassy. Because I'm a very seasonal burner, have a hard time with that because I really need to keep all of the Christmas things in the cool winter kind of months. However, I thought this would be an amazing opportunity to burn some candles that are Christmas marketed, but in fact travel well outside of the Christmas season. I don't know how many times I've thought to myself, and I've even said on this channel, I know that we're being sold this candle in December and it's got like an overtly Christmassy label on it, but it's actually not a Christmas candle. And this is that amazing opportunity to get those candles out and to burn them, because fragrance wise, they might really fit well in July, and they have overt Christmas messaging, but it's kind of fun because everybody will wink, it is Christmas in July. So we're gonna do that. I've got 3 such candles, and we're gonna do one of them today from Kringle, and that is Aurum and Evergreen, and it looks like this, or I think you say it Aurum or Aurum maybe. It's Latin for gold and evergreen, and it's got like this beautiful like gold kind of motif to it, so it's really nice. And I bought this I think last year, and I have been holding on to it, and I can't figure out how I feel about it. Actually, I know how I feel about it now, which is why I'm doing this review. But for a very long time, I didn't know what to think about it because it is so unusual. So let's get into the scent notes for it. Scent notes, and Kringle has actually given us here a very detailed and pretty much dead on list of fragrance notes for this candle, because often that's their Achilles heel. They do not do that particularly well. Here they have. So gird your loins because this is a lot of scent notes. Top notes. They are kind of all clustered together though in terms of fragrance profiles. So your top notes are sparkling pink grapefruit, green apple peel, and Valencia orange. So you've got Valencia orange and the sparkling pink grapefruit, super citrusy. Then you've got this green apple peel. It's not even like the apple itself, so just maybe like enhanced with something a little bit. Again, with the green apple though, it's very tart, very acidic, right? Mid notes. Interestingly, pomegranate juice, cinnamon leaf, and strawberry jam. Those all go together, and we're going to talk about that in a second, even though they're like, they just don't go together on a certain level. They are their own note though in this candle. Base notes: sugar crystals, vanilla snow, and Siberian fir. So you've got a lot of vanilla and like a very nice like evergreen kind of smell, which is really, it's the evergreen, maybe a little bit of the cinnamon, but it's mainly the evergreen and the cinnamon that are making this a quote unquote holiday fragrance. Because while citrus may be burned during the holidays, it's burned a lot of other times too. I wouldn't say that the holiday season has a wrap, a corner, a monopoly on citrus. So really it's relying very heavily upon the cinnamon and the Siberian fir. Ooh, okay, so friends, this is a very aggressive candle, super aggressive. It's a lot. It is a lot. It's very bold, and to jump right to it, I would say the throw on this one was a solid 7.58 every time I burnt it, which is great because you love to see those candles up in that higher strength throw range. And it's great to have a Kringle one that does so. And friends, this is actually a soy blend. This was when they were doing soy blends, and it's a 3-wick. It's burned great, actually, and relatively little discoloring. That said, I haven't burned it a whole lot. I mean, I've burned it probably 4, 5, 6, 7 times, but they tend to burn really slow and long. I'm liking the way that this one is burning, though, which is, that's unusual for a soy blend. They generally didn't burn very well. What I'm trying to say, close parentheses, is that this is a soy, it's in the soy Kringle line. If it performs that strong in the soy line, and frankly, I assume that it does, we're talking one of the soy candles that really projects. Soy is hard to project, this one does. And there's no secret as to why. When you have those kinds of really sparkling and loud citrus fruits, and then you have an evergreen note. Those are actually two fragrance profiles that project fairly well. You know how like when you listen to like music or something, there are certain sounds that come over better than other ones, which is why you have like an equalizer on your audio settings, and why they are set for particular genres of music. So classical music doesn't come over quite as well. And even within classical music, there's a realm of stuff that comes over better than others. Baroque music comes across more. Brass comes across well, for instance. So the citrus notes is kind of like a brass instrument. It's like a trumpet, or, you know, even a French horn or something like that, right? Those brass instruments are just made to project. Your evergreen notes are the same: pine, citrus, wood ones in general, but especially those coniferous green trees, yeah? The Christmas trees. Those come across really, really like loudly as well. So you've got two major like brass instruments in this candle, and they're coming across great, despite the soy. I really don't like this candle. I just don't. I don't think it's particularly cohesive. You have a cluster of citrus notes, and then you have a cluster, you've got the Siberian fir basically that's coming across. So they're competing with each other, and actually citrus and fir makes some sense. If it was just citrus and fir, I feel like this candle would be, and it would have good footing. When I was initially smelling this, and I have smelled it for a very long time, I thought to myself, it reminds me a little bit of Volcano from Capri Blue, but like messed up. So I actually have a Capri Blue Volcano here. It's like a cult favorite. It is the way that all Anthropologie stores smell like, because it's like their trademark fragrance. And spoiler alert, I do not like Capri Blue Volcano. And I think I'm probably in like the very, very limited minority here. I think there are so few people in the world who dislike Capri Blue Volcano, especially if you are a female of the species. I do not like this scent. I got this candle at Goodwill for $3. $3, okay? And I even like, it was on the shelf, and I was like, is this candle worth $3? It's unburned. It's an unburned Capri Blue Volcano, and I almost didn't buy it for $3. That's how much I kind of dislike this scent. So if you're familiar, and many of you are, especially if you're a female of the species, Capri Blue Volcano is like a really effervescent citrus, primarily citrus. I looked at their notes online. Tropical fruits, sugared oranges, lemons and limes, redolent with lightly exotic mountain greens. And they're right, there is something green behind it. It's a little bit hard to pick up when you're smelling it cold, but when it's burned for hours and hours and hours, which is what they do in the Anthropologie stores, it does come out more. And I think it's something lightly green and floral, but there is something, especially when it's burned for hours and hours and hours, that comes out that is slightly coniferous, which is why they're calling it mountain greens, I think. So I think there's something similar in this Although this just seems masterful compared to this Kringle candle. I also have this Stonewall Home. I don't know if you can see him. Winter White. This is a dupe. Much closer dupe for the Volcano Blue because it's got those citrus notes. It's zesty citrus and fresh cut balsam. I kind of like this one better because it's a little purer and less perfumey, and it's really less effervescence in the citrus, but it's a nice citrus, almost the same scent note as the one in Capri Blue. And the mountain greens, i.e. that fresh cut balsam, comes across a little bit stronger. So I really like this one. I just wasn't getting much of a throw, but it's such a baby candle. I think this year I'm gonna try this in a 3-wick and see if I like it. All right, close parentheses. If Capri Blue Volcano smells like Anthropology, very high-end, very premium, I would say that this one smells like Cracker Barrel. And no shade, I know a lot of you like Cracker Barrel. There is something about it that is just very, very not cohesive, discombobulated. And it's a lot of things that are being mixed with each other that don't necessarily fit. And Kringle has candles like this. Sometimes they'll call them like there's a Christmas market candle, you know, and in which they are very intentionally trying to create a cacophony of a lot of different things, maybe to create a mood or an experience. This is like a craft store experience. This is like, you know, one of those like country store kind of experiences where you walk in and you get a lot of like potpourri, and then it's mixed with a lot of other things that wouldn't necessarily go together, except that they're all being sold in the same store, if that makes sense. This is like walking into a Cracker Barrel like late summer, where you've got like a lot of high citrus notes from something, and then you have like a couple Christmas trees that they've put up because they're already like in the winter, like the retail Christmas situation. And if there's a scent profile in here that I can identify as messing it up, it is the pomegranate juice, cinnamon leaf, and strawberry jam. And I don't even know if there's a whole lot of cinnamon in here because I wouldn't say that this is a spicy fragrance. This is being dominated by the citrus, by the Siberian fir, so that's top and bottom respectively, and then it's that middle, and it's the pomegranate juice and the strawberry jam. First of all, I've noticed that Kringle has been doing strawberry situations in their candles of late, and it is not a good note. I really think they need to rethink using that strawberry. And they even say strawberry jam, and that's very apropos because it's not a fresh strawberry. It's like a candied, borderline artificial synthetic strawberry. I can't, just think about the Siberian fir with a strawberry jam. That already is a non-starter. Citrus and Siberian fir, yes. Strawberry jam with the Christmas tree? No. And the pomegranate is, it's even pomegranate juice. So once again, you probably have something sugary, and then they put sugar crystals in the base as well. So you're getting a lot of sugar off of that pomegranate and strawberry, like in a very processed kind of way. And the pomegranate is adding this like sour tart note, but they're both like red fruits that should not be going with the Siberian fir. Just full stop. They do not deserve to be in this candle. You might be able to match them with citrus, the citrus with the red. It's going to be a lot of sugar and it's going to be a lot of fruit, yes, but you can't put Siberian fir in the same category with them. It goes with the citrus, it doesn't go with the other. And I think you get a lot of strawberry in this, like a ton, and that's the note that's really discordant. It's making everything not work and not be cohesive. So it has a very like odd country store, craft store kind of situation, and it's loud and you can't evade it in your house. It's an 8. Now, I think a lot of people like this one, which is great, God bless. And I could see a lot of people who really like that like kind of discordant craft store kind of thing. I have to say that I like, even when Kringle misses, I love it when they miss like this. And they often do. They miss trying to do too much and trying to think outside of the box. And I can give them high points for that. I don't know how many candles have missed for them, but have been this kind of variety. Not quite cohesive, not quite landing. A lot of elements that shouldn't go together, and surprise, don't. But then every now and then they will, because they're thinking outside the box and they're thinking so creatively, they will nail something that should not go together. I mean, I have to give them such high marks for ambition. This is an ambitious candle, and I don't think it quite lands, but I praise them so highly for trying it. And like I said, there are people who, despite all this, really like it and find things to like. And I have to say that when I'm smelling it, there are certain notes that I like on their own. I love the Siberian note in this. It's so gorgeous, and I just cling to it. I don't even mind the effervescent citrus, which is not usually my favorite, and I don't like effervescent. I do love grapefruit. I wouldn't say that I'm getting grapefruit so much as just kind of a very strong effervescent citrus note in almost a little bit of a generic way. But even that I kind of like. So I like those isolated. Together, no bueno. Mainly because of the strawberry jam and a little bit of the pomegranate. Oh, yeah, you can burn this in July. Because while you do have a really nice Siberian fir note, it doesn't go traditionally Christmassy, mainly because of strawberry jam. And it's just kind of really nice. So, and I think a lot of people have burned this at the holiday successfully because with the effervescence and the sweetness of all of those fruits, and with the Siberian fir, it feels like very, this is not so much Christmas branding as maybe even like New Year's or something like that, you know. If you can do like a citrusy champagne beverage next to the Christmas tree, this isn't too far away from that. Like I said, I think with the exception of the strawberry jam, it's just really, I think that's, if I had to identify one misstep or one thing that would automatically improve or rectify this fragrance, it would be the strawberry jam and just removing it altogether. I wouldn't mind bumping up the cinnamon. You could bump up the cinnamon in lieu of it. Yeah. I don't know about the pomegranate. I'd have to smell it and see what would happen then to the pomegranate, you know? Whether or not the other elements would be able to like smooth it over, etc. But then you're gonna have more of a traditional tree, spice, pomander, citrus kind of situation. I still think it would be good. Okay guys, happy Christmas in July. I'm sorry I don't have better things to say about this. And the one positive thing I can say about this is, Kringle, I gotta hand it to you, because even when you miss like this, it makes me smile. It just does. For me, I prefer Capri Blue Volcano. And folks, that's a very high bar to clear. It's a high bar. But many of you may love this anyway. If you want to try it, I really highly suggest that you try the Daylight or the Wax Melts, which I think are out of stock right now. The Wax Melts are, but they'll be back. This is all in the soy line now, so you can get it in the 2-wick large, the 2-wick small or medium, and then you've got a Daylight and you've got a Wax. And I think it'll be around. It's been around for a couple years, and enough people like it. I think kind of weirdly, but God bless. So you can definitely get them on the website. And maybe if you're trying a Kringle order, just pop one of those Daylights in. See what you think. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think. If you're familiar with this, if you've burned it. How do you get around the strawberry and the Siberian fir? It's a no for me. All right. I feel badly because there are actually a lot of other Kringle candles that are easy to burn in July and also so Christmas in July worthy. And if you want to try other ones, Away in a Manger would be great for Christmas in July. Weirdly, Frosted Branches and Holly and Mistletoe. Actually, all three of those could easily be burned in July, but there will be other Julys. in which to bring those out. And I think they will probably, they're a little bit more successful. So I do feel kind of badly with this one. I have 2 more Christmas in July's coming up, one from Yankee Candle, if you can believe it, and then another surprise one. So stay tuned. And I know I've got to get them in real tight here because it's the end of July. I'll see you in the next one.